What could be going on behind the continued protests and calls to abolish the police? An expert on Marxist groups and their covert influence says racial tensions are being used to spark a revolution in the United States.
Derek Chauvin has been found guilty on all 3 charges, but many groups and individuals are saying this isn't enough. America's law enforcement system is inherently racist and needs to be abolished. As an infamous Marxist saying goes, the issue is never the issue is always the revolution. Trevor Loudon is an expert on radical groups and their influence. He says the issue isn't about justice for George Floyd, police brutality, or racism, it's the revolution.
This is a demonization of the United States, and the demonization is there to set this country up for a socialist communist revolution.
And while many people simply wish to see justice upheld, Loudon says others want to start a revolution. And in order for that to happen, the country's institutions need to be abolished.
What you're seeing here is there's a narrative being set up. The goal is to destroy the police, to destroy power structures in America, because you need to destroy those before you can have a revolution.
Loudon listed a number of Marxist organizations that push the narrative of systemic racism in America and advocate for abolishing the police. Some of these either openly support the Chinese Communist Party, the CCP, or have connections to it. Loudon says causing division through racial tensions and destroying America's institutions is in the interest of the CCP, and that the regime works behind the scenes with many of these groups to fan the flames. A Minneapolis-based group called the Freedom Road Socialist Organization is openly pro-CCP. It helped organize a number of George Floyd-related protests in 2020 and organized protests for the verdict of the Chauvin trial. The Facebook event co-organized by the organization said if Chauvin is not found guilty, there will be hell to pay, and we will take to the streets in our rage at a system that is incapable of delivering any justice to black people. Once the verdict was announced, the organization credited those who had taken to the streets, followed by this tweet, which clearly states their goals. People will still be marching tonight. As an organization, we see community control as a positive reform before we achieve revolution. Keep organizing. We have a world to win. Certain politicians are also suggesting Chauvin's guilty verdict is not enough. Loudon says that class or interracial struggle has driven numerous revolutions throughout history. Words like equality and justice are used to conceal the true goal of the movements. Loudon urges the unsuspecting Americans aiding this agenda to wake up. He says things will get worse until people see the communist tactics for what they are and stand up against them.